Okay, can you hear me, Steve? Okay, all right. So, good evening, everyone, and thank you for being with us for another webinar. Before we start, I would like to quickly inform you that the next photo shoot to be organized by Patrick Nellas and Antonella Spederi, ETM, European Top Models, will be a day in Gozo with a very original team. More details to follow on this in next week's webinar. Another week, and here we are with another webinar of value. Today, we will be discussing the submission of the stay-at-home competition. It is a very good exercise having the opinion of experienced judges to give us an analytical and constructive feedback on some of the work submitted for these two competitions. Photographic competitions give us a target, a goal to improve our body of work. Before handing over to the President for his introductory speech, as usual, a couple of thanks from my side to show my appreciation. In fact, I would like to thank Stephen Buhajar for his tremendous support and commitment to help me put up these webinars, Joseph Mifsud, our technical guru, for streaming our webinars live on the Malta Photographic Society Facebook page, the Malta Photographic Society Exco for their ongoing support, as well also the Facebook groups for supporting us by promoting our webinars on their pages, namely in surname order, Azzopardi Tony from Fotografija Bejn il-Ħbieb, Kutajjar Alexander from Photography Shots, and Debono Johan from All Photography. I will now hand over the word to the President of the Malta Photographic Society, Mr. Stephen Buhajar, to share with us some brief news regarding the Malta Photographic Society. Over to you, Stephen.
Thanks, Vince, for the introduction. Good evening, fellow members of the Malta Photographic Society. Today, I have to be concise with my news because our guest judges need to give their feedback on 29 digital images, and that takes a bit of time. Vince is going to explain how we are going to proceed, but before, I would like to thank Mr. Ramon Samut, Ms. Pauline Grech, Mr. Ruben Buhajar, and Mr. Duncan Kauki for accepting the Society's invitation to sit on the judging panel and to join us this evening to give us their professional feedback on some of the images they judged. For this semester, only one stay-at-home competition is left, the one taking place in June. You are invited to start submitting your 3 best images in color and or monochrome from this Saturday, 29th of May. The deadline is Saturday, 12th of June, and the judging will be held on Saturday, 19th of June at 2 in the afternoon. I would like to thank Mr. Joseph Mifsud and Mr. Mark Shikluna for the organization and the smooth running of the judging for the May stay-at-home competition. Thanks to their commitment and effort, the results were sent to you a few hours later. May I kindly remind you to rename your images as name, surname, _ title of the image. It is very, very, very important not to include your name and surname when typing the title of your image on the submission form. Your name and surname should be included only when renaming the image that you decided to submit. Your small cooperation helps to have our data in place and reduces our extra work. I, together with the committee, appreciate your cooperation. More news from the Society will be given next week. I will now hand over to Vince again so that he goes through some brief points about today's webinar.
Thank you, Stephen. Very quickly, this is how we will be proceeding with today's webinar. Stephen will be coordinating the uploads and interaction with judges. I will be compiling your questions or any feedback to be taken during the reviewing process. Obviously, after we will take these questions, we will be having the 4 judges, which Stephen referred to, namely in surname order, Buhajar Ruben, Kauki Duncan, Greg Pauline, and Sammut Ramon. All 4 judges already have a set of photos assigned to each of them, which were sent accordingly by Stephen to help them study again your photos and prepare well before to give you the best feedback possible. Kauki Duncan will be the first judge to review the photos since he needs to leave a bit before. Every participant will be having 1 photo review. There are circa 29 photos. To ensure we are well organized and timely, we have asked our judges not to exceed 3 minutes on each photo. To facilitate a smooth running without interruptions, no questions will be taken during the reviewing process. Hence, all mics will remain muted except for the host, co-host, and judges. Audience present are to direct questions or any comments they would like to make anytime to me in the Zoom chat, and I will coordinate these at the end of the reviewing process, as communicated already in the points above. It's now time to put our hands to the plow and get going. Over to you, Stephen.
Thank you, Vince. I'm going to start sharing. So, as you said, well said, Vince, I will upload, I will show the first 7 images, which Duncan is going to give his review on. So let's start with the first one. This was the image which got the highest score, one of the images which got the highest score in our last stay-at-home competition. Duncan, your feedback, please, your criticism, praise, give us your views about this image so that everyone will learn how to improve on his photography. Thank you. I think we need to open his mic, Viz.
Yes. Okay, Duncan.
All right, all right. So, a very well composed image. Honestly, it tells a story between the figures represented there in the image. The only point I would like to highlight to the author that I deducted only 1 point was that around the mushroom there is a slight halo. Apart from that, the grass leading to the door, you can see that the left part and the right part, they're basically the same grass, just duplicated from one side to the other. Could be easily flipped or something of the sort in Photoshop. Other than that, the lighting on the broccoli and on the mushroom on the cloud, it's good. It's great. Honestly, I like this image. It's one of the highest marks I gave. The composition is where it has to be. There's a story between the two characters. The editing is done very, very, very well as well. Well done to the author.
Thanks, Duncan.
Proset Alex. All right. At first, good points. Black and white is done well. The author has a good eye in architecture. What I would like to remark is, even though the author tried to keep the left column straight, the rest of the building is tilted. So that is a minus. Other than that, if the author shot this image pointing a little bit towards the sky and getting the square formation, as a whole, it would have added to the image. Since now it's shot like this, if the author crops from the left-hand side so that the diagonal from the top beam gets exactly in the corner, it would help the image very much. Other than that, the black and white editing, as I said, is good. The long exposure is good as well. I love the black of the sky and the white of the clouds. I think with a little bit more of effort, this image can be worked more better to improve it.
Thanks, Duncan. And well done to Anthony Schwierep. This is the third image.
Sorry. An interesting macro shot. Honestly, I'm a fan of macro. What I would like to remark, first of all, it is a little bit cropped too tight. And when shooting product shots like this one, even though it's old, an antique product, try to get the facade of the watch, the face of the watch, full in focus. I like this soft, the depth of field, but when it's you're doing product photography, such as this one, ideally the face of the clock is in full focus. Other than that, there are a lot of dust particles on the base of the image, which can easily be cloned out. But nice try, good attempt.
Duncan, am I correct that when photographing watches or clocks, the minute hand and the hour hand should read 10:10?
10:10.
10 past
It's
10,
called
10 past 10.
the laughing clock. It is not sort of a rule, but after a lot of study throughout the years, they found that it makes a connection with the brain that is a laughing clock. It's a smile. That's why they do them 10:10.
Open hands.
Yes, exactly. This is a good portrait, obviously, of this monkey. I'm not that much proficient in what kind of monkey is this. What struck me at first, the focus there is on the eyes. The eyes are really sharp. But going down to the nose is blurred. That is where I reduced some points. And since obviously it was edited and heavily edited to make it black and white monochrome, so it can be more prominent. Brighten up the face of the monkey would have helped as well. But the major point is that the nose has some motion blur in it. So I had to reduce some marks there. But overall, black and white is great. Image overall, apart from the muzzle, is sharp. Composition is good as well. Well done to the author as well. All right. I quite like this image. Now, I heard the conversation of football before we started. without any offense to anyone, in photography, unfortunately, when there is text, the eye falls directly on the text. In this case, it's Italy. So you try to look everywhere, and your eyes always fall on Italy. Even all right, it's the brightest part, unfortunately, but that Italy could have easily be cloned out. I like the creativity of this image. In my honest opinion, I don't like the shadows underneath the pencils. If a softbox was used from the top instead of right hand side, it could have improved very much more the image. Apart from that, something I noticed when we're putting submitting images to a competition, we need to show them the best we can. In this image in particular, there are some white spots on the pencils, like small slight hairs on the pink pencil. Those they are easily cloned out. So I suggest that the author takes care of those little details, because when it comes to give points and reduce points, those little details count. But other than that, I like this image. Is very creative. This is one of those images that I would love to have hanging in my living room. It is peaceful, calm. Composition is right. I love the footsteps, even though they're not leading to the tree. They're still giving a direction to the image. This is a classic image of a tree in the snow. So, but still, I gave it good points. Well done to the author. Very well seen. A good shot. I like this image very much. Data Stephen, nista naqbżu. Le, ġiġ neċajta. Mela, I like the originality of this image, the mirror effect in post-production. I like the leading lines putting the viewer inside the image. The only few points that I detracted is that in architecture, like this image, it symbolizes perfectionism. Okay, in my opinion. So this is my take on it. And easily there are spots on the beams or what they are that could have been easily cloned out. But other than that, it is a very, very good image. Black and white worked very, very, very well. It works. Again, this is one of those images that I would love to have it hanging in my living room. Brother Steve.
Thanks, Duncan, for your review. We tried to put, not we tried, we did the first 7 photos that you were assigned to in the beginning because you need to leave, you have other commitments. We appreciate a lot that you joined us to give your part. So now we turn on now to Pauline, Ramon, and Ruben in this order. One Pauline, one Ramon, one Ruben, and they alternate. Okay, so I'm going to upload an image. The first one is going to be analyzed by Pauline, the next one by Ramon and by Ruben, and we move on like that. Okay? Did you understand?
Okay.
Okay.
So now it's Pauline's turn. We are good on time. So this is behind bars.
Yes. This image, I believe, got
15.
15
You
points.
have the points there as well.
Yes,
15.
yes. I like this image very much. What I can say about it is that at the top there are some traces of blue, which could have been removed, so that the top will be black. And the bottom, I personally would have straightened the bottom line, so that the I don't know if I can explain myself. Can you see my mouse?
No, you have to annotate. You have to go up.
Okay, what I mean is the bottom line.
Yes, this part. This
Yes,
part.
yes. I would have left. I would have.
The base has to be straight.
I would have. I would have removed. I would have lowered the left part, so that it will be
Uh-huh.
the same.
You have to be careful about the verticals, though, Pauline. You have to
But
be.
then you can. I mean, you know,
You have to
play
distort
around
the
it with play around it with
Mhm.
distort or whatever in Photoshop. I mean,
Mm.
personally, I manage. That's all I have to say. The colors I like. I mean, like the silhouettes. It is a good image.
Thanks, Pauline.
Okay.
Now we'll have Ramon.
Mm.
This was the image produced by Martin Ajus, the one that placed first during the April stay-at-home competition. Ramon needs to have his mic open. You have to mute yourself, Vince.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Ramon, okay.
Okay. Very well done, Project Martin, for this picture. This was one of the pictures that I scored it highly. It's beautifully rendered. The composition, the double exposure here works well. It's very, very creative. Believe me, for me, this was a top-notch shot. Being very, very, very creative. Nitpicking, just nitpicking. For me, if the left side on the screen, I mean, there is some specks, some dots that could have been cleaned out, but I don't know if you can see it. Can I have the mouse here or no?
You can annotate, Ramon, from up.
How do you do that?
Go on the upper parts and annotate. You have a pencil, sort of, near the share, the participants list. There's the annotate.
No worries.
You're saying, Ramon.
If you can, that area process, exactly that area. That area could have been slightly cleaned up, but the image is so powerful that I'm just nitpicking here. Again, this was my highest scored image when I judged this image personally, because it's very, very creative, thinking outside the box. I always seek for the wow factor in an image, and this image in particular was very creative. Yeah, very well done. Even the black and white is clean. Whites are whites, grays are clean. So shadow detail is there where it needs to be. The high contrast on the subject, on the people, is well handled. Well done to the author here. This was a very easy one for me.
Ruben, your turn.
Very nice picture. I gave it quite high marks. It's it's very nice for a brochure, and it really invites me to go to discover the place. The lighting is superb, I have to say. I like the symmetry of it. I love the lighting on the side wheels, like sort of, and the red color on the, well seen actually, because the red lines on the rails then are stopped at the end by the bougainvillea red lines there. So composition wise, it's excellent. I like the blurring of it, so that it leads to the place. It is actually quite very classy, this picture, and well done to the author. Very classy in the sense that there are lots of interesting things in the photo, but the author chose to have to tell us that besides all the messages that are in the picture, it's the people who are walking there, which is important. The only minus point, I don't understand. I think it must be some kind of sign, which seems to come out of the head of the lady. There, I would have taken it out. I mean, I think I don't think it forms part of the head itself, and it distracts. Actually, it must be some sign. It could be taken off, that one. It's besides the point. But otherwise, well done for the composition, and well done, well seen, and very well thought of, and beautiful lights. Nothing more to say.
Thank you, Ruben. Jane. Sorry, Pauline. It's Jane's photo.
I realized you made a mistake. Okay, this portrait is very expressive because his face, the wrinkles on his face, tell a story. What I personally think that could be improved is the surrounding, which could be darkened. I think the edges. Let me see if I can annotate with the pen, with the edit. No, I don't know.
Let me do it for you, Pauline. I think you mean over here, you mean?
Where? Yes, and the other side as well.
This
Yes,
area?
and a bit at the bottom on the right-hand side of the screen. The other down here. Yes, I think if those areas would be darkened, the picture would improve. But otherwise, I mean, basically, the picture is. Sorry. Basically, the picture is of the man's face, and the wrinkles express a lot of meaning, and even his hands. But otherwise, I think it's a good shot. Proset, Jane.
Ramon,
Presente. Yeah, another cool. Can you hear me? Yeah, all right.
yeah.
Another cool picture. Nice colors here, the reds and the blues. They obviously work out. Composition is brilliant. They're doing what they're doing, so it's a nice capture here. Maybe things to improve. I prefer to work out in diagonals. Maybe a different way of thinking is if the author had shot it in a diagonal manner, knowing that the planes, the formation here is slightly tilted, I would orientate it in a way to go in a diagonal manner instead of a vertical straight line. However, it's a cool shot that also works because I try to picture it horizontally instead of vertically. So going through the leading line, going through from left to right, knowing that the right part has a longer trail. Again, a well sort of picture, very sharp, nice and clean. There is this issue that to gain more points, you need a wow factor. Now, in this case, it's a very classical capture. If you're there at an air show, you will see this because that formation is quite common. So maybe to even improve it further, you will get a diagonal composition will work even better. Check around, turn it around, and maybe even a horizontal approach for this image could possibly give you some more marks. However, it's a very nice shot. Proset.
Well done, Emmanuel. Ruben,
Hello. Yeah. It's one of the shots which I like taking myself. To be honest, it's for me. I mean, it's excellent. Excellent. I mean, it's simple and effective, and obviously the good use of the red, the right position, and the right position, well seen. Well seen, I would say, and I actually have a couple of pictures of it, which are similar, which I take myself, but that doesn't take anything away from the light is nice. Well done to the author, and composition-wise, it's the work of an expert, in my opinion. Even without the little lamppost, which there is over here, would have been also nice with it. That sort of takes away a little bit. I'm being nitty-gritty, to be honest. There was something which did not convince me totally, and it is this little lamppost, which actually can be taken away. But again, this is subjective, and obviously I have to respect the idea of the photographer. But I think I personally would have taken it away. But because the red and the red door and the composition itself with the lines is enough without that lamppost. It's not even a night shot, so it doesn't need to be lit on. So personally, I would have taken it off. But and it's too close. Then it's also too close to the edge, which, in my opinion, attracts there. So that's all I have to say. Well done.
it's Polly's turn.
Yes, I like this image very much, and it is very in keeping with the title, which is "Home is where the heart is." It gives you a tranquil feeling, and it was probably made up by the author. So I think it was a very good idea if it was made up by the author, because you have three objects which are relating to each other in a very sweet manner. So it was well done by the author. The composition is fine. I don't have any objections to the composition. The colors, they relate to each other because you have the browns, the whites, and then a bit of red, and the turquoise, which goes well with the brown. That's all. I think it's a good image.
Ramon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice and sharp, and a very detailed shot. Very good. This is basically a documentative image of this plant. I'm not into botany, I'm sorry, I don't know the name of this plant, but however, what I can see is that it's a close-up shot of this plant, which is nice, attractive, good detail. I can't express my it's a documentative shot, so basically what you see is what you get. There is no wow factor. If I had to be so when you go into a competition, now this is a few lines about the subject like this. It's shot well, focused well, the colors are rendered perfectly, not a glitch, perfect rendering. However, maybe to be nitpicky, there is a slight overexpose on one of the petals here. I don't know if you can see it. It's in between the two green parts. Yeah, the white spot there. There's a white spot there, which can be, yeah, exactly there, which can be slightly toned down. However, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing that this image is depicting the flower, the plant, what it is. My only concern is that when you go in a competition, because at the end of the day, this is a competition, there is a small slight issue. You end up, as a judge, you end up giving it the maximum points, okay? Without the wow factor. I don't know if you understand this. So basically, you go up the hill, and you can give it up to an 8 because it's flawless, or 79, 78, a maximum of an 80. But it can't push the barrier because there is no wow factor. So although the image is great and grand, and it's nearly flawless, when it comes to the crunch and it's a competition, you need a slight step up to push it further and to beat competition, because at the end of the day, this is a competition. So, and that is my only issue here. When you start thinking outside the box, this is the perfect example of a nice photo, but it stops there. So you need to go a little bit up and reach that flag on the top of the mountain. And although this is a very, very good shot, it is documentative. Now, when I say documentative, it can be documentative, but there is no wow factor. Very good image. I want to see more? I don't know. Maybe to make it more interesting, I'm just thinking out of my head, just spontaneously. If there is an open flower in the thirds, which rendered or whatever, a bee or some sort of interaction would push the story further and push it from the documentative part. Like this is a botanic picture, perfectly photographed. But if there was something which interacts more, it would even be better. Yeah. Classic picture, which is nice composed, and obviously the detail is all there. Nothing can go wrong. However, you can't push it more because there is no that I want it to go up, but I can't. I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly, but
You're very clear, Ramon. You are right. You are giving
have
a
to
very good
think-
analysis. I agree
you have
with
to think
you.
about
Yeah.
you have to think about going up in the points here, pushing it up further, thinking outside the box and saying, listen, my botanic plant is a winner. Okay? This is a very, very good shot. However, it stays there. It doesn't push up. Close it, Emma. Very good image.
Well said, Ramon. Thank you. These type of discussions are very healthy, guys. So listen to what the judges are saying. Ruben?
I like this picture, but it's also my type of photography too. So, it's well, you can classify it as. First of all, I have to say, well done to all the participants because the general work was quite of interesting level, which is nice to see. And this is street photography and or train photography. Let's put it up. It's street photography. Obviously, what makes it's shooting from the hip. So and you were caught out by this guy who was looking straight at the camera, and that makes the picture. The guy who makes who was looking straight at the camera. I mean, if he was not looking, it would have been a different story. I gave it high marks. I gave it high marks. Not totally because I've seen it before as original. It doesn't make it less of a picture. Doesn't make it less of a picture. It's just that I sort of seen it, done it myself a little bit, and in order to give it more pictures, I have to be more intrigued and surprised. The wow factor, maybe as Ramon was speaking, I need to be intrigued. Now, it can be anything. It can be anything, but it's just a really good picture, a good street photography one, and I wouldn't have composed it otherwise. It doesn't bother me at all that a bit of his hand it's cut. It's obvious that it's been taken from the hip, and that is quite a strange gesture which the other guy on the mobile is doing. But well done, Sama. Well done. Nicely worked. Black and whites are great. There's nothing. The contrast is nice. The black is black. The white is white. No. I mean, he and the other knows his blacks and whites. So okay. Well
Thank
done.
you. Pauline.
I like this picture very much. It
Can't see the picture.
You're not seeing it? Is it showing?
I can see
Yes.
it.
Yes, Stephen, it's showing.
Now it's showing. Okay.
Okay. So, as I was saying, this is street photography as well. The location is a very good location, and the texture of the wall has been brought out, and the cat is a good addition. Not addition, it's a good, like, it's a surprise that it's there. The black and white, I think, is good as well. I don't have anything to criticize about it. I think it's a good effort. Even the verticals are good. Yes, it's overall it's a good image. But as Ramon was saying, of course, when you're giving marks, you have to look for the wow factor. So you have to sort of say, if it's a wow, you give it a 9, and then you have to judge all the images. So you have to sort of think about the marks that you're going to give.
Thank you, Pauline. You're mentioning something about the scores. This is something that we as an EXCO are working also about. We are trying to bring out a rubric which we will share with our judges and also with our participants, so that to know why someone got 6, why someone got 9, so that it will help you, help everyone, even the judges and the participants, to get to know better what that mark means. But this will be also shared with you in the coming weeks and months. Ramon?
Once again, a good marker shot here. Nothing to complain. Maybe the only issue is when it comes to marker like that. I know it's very, very hard, but the foot, one of the is out of focus. The front foot is out of focus, so it's a little bit distracting here. I like the greens and the browns. They complement each other here, and it works. It works good. It's a fresh image with all those greens. I don't know the rules when it comes. I know the rules when it comes to a picture like that. If you can edit in this image, if you can edit in the image, I don't know how the rules are. But if you
If it's
can
in a
edit,
nature competition, it
Uh-huh.
can't. But this is open. So
okay. So the category is open. So basically, you could have done it.
yeah.
Okay, just nitpicking a bit here to further improve this picture. There is the blurred white patch on the leaf, which could be half toned down. Again, here there is an issue. I know that the thing is probably small. I'm not into insects at all. Exactly their process. I'm not into insects myself. I don't shoot this kind of pictures. However, one big thing that I learned from other fellow judges when judging into this kind of small little object photography or insect photography is that they naturally, because this is a documentative picture, you try and add as much possible depth of field. I know it's very hard. The foot in particular here is a little bit, it jars a bit, and it makes it slightly, but however, having said that, it's a nice picture. The eyes seem focused, and the face is the way you look at, and that is the most important thing. The front foot, for me, it's a bit of an eyesore, as I told you before. But, however, it works. I don't know the name of the insects. I'm sorry, I'm not into insects. But, however, it's a cool shot. It's a cool shot. That's all I have to say about this.
It's a shield bug, Johan told us. By the way.
Okay.
Shield bug. Johan told us it's a shield bug. Thank you,
Brilliant.
Johan.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Johan.
Ruben?
Yes. Very nice composition. Very nice composition. Obviously, it's movements well cut. The arch is well cut. The author of the picture has followed the action. It probably is not the first jump this lady did. If it's the first time, it's a lucky shot but it's clearly obvious. It's clearly obvious that this was seen before, but which is a good thing. What I wanted to point this out because obviously that's the right thing to do. There's nothing much more to say around. It's really, really very nice. I like the hair, and obviously it's theater, and the people who did the show also know what they're doing with their lighting, and also the actress and knows exactly where to jump. I have nothing more to say. Actually, it's a nice shot. It's a nice shot. It's a nice shot. I've seen theater pictures before, but again, this does not belittle the picture because I've seen them before. It's really excellent and well presented. Prosit.
Pauline?
Yes, a landscape, which I like. Maybe, as had been said before, the text could have been toned down. The colors are very nice and suited. The sky is beautiful. What I think maybe, but it's not very possible that you can remove the persons on the right. But otherwise the colors are nice. It's a good composition. Yes, otherwise I can't say anything more about it. It's what maybe you could clean up. There's a spot. Let me see if I can annotate. Do you annotate from edit?
This one, Pauline.
That one. Exactly.
View options.
Okay, that one, Vince. And then there's another one further. Okay, no, and no, that one, no, only that one. Okay. Yes. Maybe those could have been cloned out, but otherwise it's a good shot. And the people on the side maybe could have been removed, but probably it wasn't possible. So, proceed.
Thank you. Let's move on. Ramon?
This is so cool, man. Really enjoy this picture. This is thinking outside the box here. There is the action. He's capturing the action. He's capturing the essence of all this. The black and white, the chiaroscuro here works a lot. One thing which I really like is that what helps this image is that sharp foot on the girls. If you can see, there is one sharp, very sharp foot, and then all the movement passing by. And the other one is even the one which is bright, on the young one, on the young girl. Yeah. So you look straight in there, and then you open up in this, and there is this movement. There's and it's theatrical. Here, the guy who took this picture, he knows what he's doing. I really enjoyed this image. It's a fantastic picture. I can't find issues here. Maybe slight detail in the highlights, which could have been a little bit fixed, but because of the composition and the movement, it doesn't bother me a bit. One good thing here, again, that the author played it right, is that even if it's a still shot, you can get the feeling of movement, and that's what it is. Black and white here worked perfectly, in my opinion. Well done to the author, very, very well done. I'm seeing that it's Mark Cicluna. Again, he is inspired by Degas here, which obviously is a painter, and obviously he did these ballet paintings. And as soon as you see it, you can see the connection here. Yeah. Without the colors, obviously, because I can see. I can see where this image is coming from. Great capture, brilliant work. Process.
Thanks, Ramon. Let's move to the 22nd image to be reviewed by Ruben. This placed also first during last month's competition. It belongs to Joseph Francalanza.
Wow. And this is what the wow factor is all about. It's the whole issue is not actually a perfect picture, and I will explain later. There are some glaring defects, but the wow factor is so strong on this, and I know you cannot repeat the exact shape and position of the main participants in this picture, which is the lady and the kid and the pusher. Except against that bright background. Wow. When you see it first time and you've got limited time to judge, you say, wow. Having said that, I gave it high marks. And I give it high marks because of the initial impact is what? The initial impact. Seeing it more, there are some glaring faults which should be erased. And in hindsight, I would have maybe reduced a little bit marks, given more time on it. And I don't think they should have been done, because sometimes, the thing is this: you get a great shot, and then you go for competition. So there's the urge from all of us, and I'm totally against this. That because it's going for competition, you have to edit it, and you have to change something to it, and you have to change something to it by force, or else there won't be the wow factor. In this case, the wow factor was taken when it came out of the camera. And the sky, I believe that the sky was made afterwards. And the detail, I don't know, Steve, if you can show the top of the wall here, it's not very nice there. And I'm sure that the longer you look at it, maybe then because once the wow factor subsides and you've seen it, then you want to make the picture a bit timeless. And when you make the picture timeless, you have to like it. Also, after 2 days, after a month, after a year, and everything, and that's when you start saying. But would I have done it different? And the defects which are there have been made in post-processing, which are a little bit unacceptable in this case. Because if you look at the shadows, I don't think they really coordinate with the direction of the lights. So if you see the shadow of the wall against the back wall, the sun seems to be coming from the left. So I can only imagine that this wall from this side is lit up by lighting. And obviously, when you do black and white, then the color rendition goes away. But yes, but it's got such a wow factor, and the shadow. I mean, you couldn't place the lady and the child and the pusher in a more better position. And for this, well done. For this, well done. And I think I would go back to the original shots and even make it timeless. So from winning a competition, which you might forget in a few months' time, you will make it timeless. Now, this is my opinion, and this is what I have to say about it. I wish I had the original picture myself and I took it myself. But I'm sure it can be rendered better. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben. Pauline?
Okay. I like the colors in this shot very much because the colors of the floor match the colors of the persons in the shot. But it is a bit static for me. I mean, there's no movement at all. It's, of course, the dancers are in a difficult position, but it's a static picture, and the lady is looking the other way, and maybe if the dancers were further on, let me tell you, if the dancers were further to the side, the lady's face would have been in the smoke or in the light, whatever. So maybe it would have been a better position. But the colors are nice. The composition is good. What else? The negative space I like as well. Otherwise, I don't have anything else to say about it.
Okay, so let's move to the next picture, which is Ramon's turn. Let me show it. It's up. It's going.
Another cool shot here. Yeah, I like this picture again. Nice picture. A little bit the shadows here work well. I like these gray on gray, classic, old school with those bits of whites, which the diagonals here of this building really work well. It's an impressive architectural piece and a very good picture to complement it. Just a couple of things. The leading line, the wall, the building on the right is slightly, it is slightly bent, which you cannot correct it. Even the pole on the left can be slightly corrected and straighten it up a bit. the people here, the phantomized people, the author left it there. It gives this feeling of airiness and walk through, coming in and coming out. I would he did a fantastic job not to remove them in this case. I really like the motion and the image. What can I say? Nice, clean, well observed image, showing the station in all its glory. Again, this what works is gray on gray, which really helps here. And then there was those little bits of white which accentuate, which push out, especially the word central station. That not in every picture where there is text is a bad thing. Here, this image justifies this. It's cool. It's different. It's different because of the phantomized people moving in. Another cool image. Well done to the author. Proceed.
Thanks, Ramon. Ruben?
Right. A sweet photo, this one. But a sweet photo, okay, the guy is looking at us and all the sorts. But the highlights it sort of is inverted. Now I know you cannot do otherwise because I mean this is Parliament building and the sun is white and the guy is wearing a black turtleneck and he's of black complexion too, I believe. And yes, but although it's a sweet photograph, I didn't consider it that special. And it's not there's even in his action there isn't anything special which he is doing. I mean, a lot of people are today. You see them with all you see is people playing around with their mobiles. To be frankly honest, design as one says. His face is very beautiful. There's beautiful light on the face, but unfortunately, your eye goes to the Fino lettering. It's a nice picture, but I don't think it's a competition picture, in my personal opinion. But as regards composition, is in the right in the terms and everything. So we just have to, we have to give a more personal and unique perspective in our photography. And every person, every one of us, is different in his own way. And I am sure that you will have an outlook to life which is different from everyone else. And I would see that in competitions. But however, it's a good picture. I mean, it's a good picture. Just that I would like to see more. Thank you.
Good. So we have the last round from each judge. We start with Pauline.
Another dance picture. The composition is good because it's on the thirds. What maybe would have been better, but you have to catch them in the act, would be some interaction between the dancers. And maybe some movement, because also in this case it is quite aesthetic picture. The background is just black and there's a lot of negative space, which is good. I don't know whether if the dancers were on the other side, it would have been better. I don't know. You have to flip the picture round and see. I don't know. Otherwise, there's nothing more to say about it. Maybe a bit of more light on the female dancer's face, because it's a bit dark, and the features aren't so well defined. That's all.
Thank you, Pauline. Thank you. Ramon.
A cool image. I like. Yeah, very good image. As with a classic picture, not looking at you. I like the image. The black and white here works well. I was trying to find out if the hands are slightly bigger, but they're not. So again, I guess this is Noel Portelli here from the name. Well done, Noel. Nice and sharp, clean. Separation between the hat and the background is there. Highlights are well balanced. The shadow detail is there. A very classical look. You can't, the lighting here, I can't go and say, listen, this is a short lit or this is a broad lit, because you can see only slight shadowing here. Let me, finally I found, with the last one I found how to do this. There note. You can see the slight little shadow there, which is and from the catch light here, that the light is coming from the left to the right, coming from this.
Ramon.
has some technical problems, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
In the
I
meantime,
think so.
I think you can move on to the next.
Yeah, until
Get back
he
up.
comes back and join us again.
Yes, Steve.
Ruben, you have Ramon is here. Ramon, I'll get back to you.
No worries.
No, I'll get back to you, Ramon. Continue.
Okay, sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
As I was explaining, let me put this thing into. Yeah. So basically, again, a very nice classical picture. The lighting, I really like the lighting there. Yeah. Sharp edges, separation is perfect. Very good. Nice image. I am playing around here. Would eye contact be even more appealing to the image? Which I don't think so, because normally with all these portraits, everyone is looking at you. This is a classical picture. Well done. Proceed.
Ruben.
Right. It's a travel photography, obviously. You know. However, it can be classified as architecture, and the thing is, it's all about composition. Unfortunately, this picture suffers from being cut off at the right hand edge. It suffers from that. Besides, it also suffers from another thing. Being worked a bit too much. And especially when you have a white building, which is whitewashed, then you get a bit of dirty marks near the shadows of the people. And when I see that, I see we have to be careful with our editing. We have to be very careful and very subtle. I'm not against editing or anything, not at all. And contrast does make the story. this could have given a bit more space. This building needs a bit more space for obvious reasons. The circle here, and I cannot not help. My attention goes to the cut edge on the right hand side, and this for me loses. If it has been a bit taken back, if it was possible at the end of the day, because I cannot say this because I've never been unfortunate to this place. But there were the right amount of people to have made it a sort of an epic scene, because obviously the scene is quite spectacular, to say the least. However, the composition has let this picture down. Obviously I like the contrast there is in it, but the composition is an important part of the picture, a very important part. It's what makes photography at the end of the day. So composition and light.
And you have another one, Ruben, since Duncan left us, so that we will have reviewed one image from every author that participated during these last two competitions. Kindly give your review, Ruben.
Yes, actually, I like this picture because it's a very modern presentation to it. It's sort of what they call it the fill effect, but we don't call it like that anymore because obviously this is cameras have become so good at HDR and and high dynamic range. The only aspect, but obviously I can take an environmental picture, which an environmental portrait is a bit the detail there is outside, looking outside the window, outside, obviously the tent, the caravan which there is here. The red, obviously, the red balcony, red obviously attracts, and there are also some strong lines. I'm not saying you should take it off immediately because it's also part of the story, but it can be muted. Well, it can be muted, or you can actually turn it a little bit, pastel, or and reduce the contrast in the lines, not eliminate them, because then it would be like sort of uneventful. But just reduce the detail over there. Not necessarily cloning it out, just reducing it. I am very careful what cloning is and what not cloning is, but because you have to get in this picture, the environment is important. It's important. The only other thing so I mean, leaving alone what is seen outside the tent is one thing. As regards portraiture, the portrait itself, unfortunately, there's a problem with the hair of the lady, which comes straight in her eyes. It takes the eye out. It takes the eye out. That is a bit of a bother. That is a bit of a bother. Obviously, it's not in front of her eyes because she wouldn't be looking at the radio, but it's in front of our eyes, which inhibit us where her pupil is. We can only assume what it is. Sorry for being a bit nitty-gritty, but in a competition, sometimes it's very hard to pinpoint, but there would be something bothering you, and in my opinion, that is what is bothering me a little bit. So we have to be a bit careful. But I appreciate the effort of the author, and sometimes you get a very nice year, a nice picture, and you take a picture, and you think it worked out, and then you look at it back, it doesn't work out. Or sometimes you take a picture, you think it was a shit picture, and you say, wow. And these things happen, and I can understand that. That's all part of photography, and obviously you had no choice in the hair going in front of the eye, but unless I'm not suspecting that this is posed. It might as well be, but let's assume that it was not posed. Yes, that's it.
Thank you. We made it. I was a little bit worried because there were 29 images, and you perfectly kept the time, approximately 3 minutes on every image. A conclusion maybe from the three of you, since Duncan left us, give us a review on a holistic review on the images you judged, the level of photography, and also maybe a tip for our photographers here, for our members and non-members, to prepare for the annual competition, which we will be launching in the coming days. Who's going to start? We have Pauline. Pauline, shall you start, please?
Okay. Personally, I think that the images I judged were all quite good. Some were better than the other. But what I strive and what all other members of the Photographic Society should strive is to try to get images which are not run of the mill, like images which, as Ramon always says, have a wow factor, which when you look at them, you say, wow, I mean, there's something which I really like in this image. But otherwise, I think the level of the images which I judged was quite good. So
Thank you.
on to Ramon now.
Yeah, on to Ramon now.
Guys, I really enjoyed the session, to tell you the truth. There are some really good pictures, and the level, I've seen the level that is very good. Guys, one tip, as all judges mentioned, obviously this is a competition. So when you start putting in your photos, submitting your photos, check them out truly and criticize yourself. Find the ifs and fix them. A good tip is that once you start preparing for an exhibition or a competition in this case, you look at them and then don't leave them, rest. Go back to them after a week and re-scrutinize your work and find out the bits and pieces that can be fixed, or else don't try and consider, listen, I know that there is this, but let me put it in. Now, there's two issues here, two things. If you're a novice and you're starting in this, it's good to get the feedback, so basically you get hammered in and automatically you learn from that instance. If not, and you're a seasoned pro, you look at the image and grab all the plus and all the minus, and then clean it up so the judge cannot see the minus at all. That will give more points. Once the image is very good, then season it further to push to the highest mark, and that will achieve goals. That will give the top trump card. That's all. But in general, the images were quite okay. But just clean, powerful images that work. Don't overcook your images. Post-production is a tool. It's just a tool, and you should do well. But I think these images were really cool. Overall, the standard is very good. That's all I have to say, guys. And congratulations! It's really good. Huh? I'm enjoying this.
Thanks, Ramon. Ruben.
I think my colleagues have said most of what I was saying. However, I cannot stress enough. I cannot agree more. I also enjoyed the other pictures which I didn't judge, and I'm pleasantly surprised. Well done to everyone. Well done to everyone because I saw an uphill level from recent years, and keep at it. Again, I cannot stress enough. I mentioned it before that each and every one of us has a very unique way of looking at life. You don't need to, copy people. If you want to put a picture like one you have seen, then there might be a bit of originality which has gone off. Every one of us has got a very unique eye. And I am sure that if you, and photography is a journey in discovering ourselves. This is the beauty of photography, discovering who we are. You will be amazed where you will arrive, and you will be amazed, and never pollute the idea of how you think and how you look at life, because that's what I want to see. What you look out of life, which is different from me. And this is what photography is all about. It's not about winning a competition by doing a picture which won the competition last year, like they tend to do in Eurovision, for example, since we are on topic, and then we end up with a couple of songs which are similar, like the ones of last year. And I don't want to mention anything because I really don't like the whole setup, but this is what I mean. And also, as someone said, post production is important. They used to do it even before we had computers. They used to do it in the darkroom. They used to do the same things. The oil was available. But since now we have so many tools at our hands, and we might be able to overdo it. Be careful. Be very careful. I don't want to, not that I wouldn't know it would be enhanced, but I don't like to see telltales in pictures. It makes me angry. It makes me angry. And as a photojournalist myself, and someone who likes street photography to death, really, and the beauty of life is the strange things which people do. And you have to look out for those. You know, those are, and people do some strange things all the time, including myself, and probably as I'm speaking too. But anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. From on behalf of the society, on behalf of the Exco, I would like to thank the judges for the time because without their support and even the time they spent to come into the club and give the judging, and also with being with us this evening, we couldn't do this type of competition. So a big thank you. Vince?
Yes, sure, Stephen. I also want to endorse your words and thank the judges. I think that personally, if I can say a few things over here, I think that the Malta Photographic Society is blessed to have such seasoned photographers who volunteer and give their service to us as judges. And obviously, I think it's a good opportunity to take notes, and one has to learn from the very good feedback that we've received today. I was obviously participating as well, so I took the note. I was also listening very carefully to what the judges have said. And the thing is, for those who are starting, we say this in the course, Stephen, as well. I always like to mention the three P's: practice, perseverance, and perfection or precision. Okay, so this is something, it's not just, I mean, we love the discipline of photography because it keeps us exploring and studying. And I think you can never say in photography, I've reached this level, I cannot reach any further. No, there is always way to improve your work, to get images, as Ramon said, to get the wow factor. You have to look at works, you have to study others, and you have to take good feedback from the judges. Thank you so much for giving us your time and for being of service. And also, I would like to thank, we had again a lovely
A lovely
crowd,
audience, yeah,
a
good
lovely
crowd today, yeah.
audience. Obviously, apologies, we couldn't take and open your mics today to have it a bit more because, as Stephen said, we had the time, but we managed perfectly. Everybody's happy. We had one photo from each other, so I think everybody is happy. I
This
think we
shall we
can go.
announce today's week
Yes.
webinar. We will be having
With
international photographer Tom Lee. Do
Tom
not
Lee.
miss it. He's going to give us some tips and also explain different printing options. So keep tuned. Be here today week to have Tom Lee with us. And as usual, we join this webinar 15 minutes before 6 at 5:45, so that we'll have some little chats. I don't know what will be the subject this week.
The
Football
subject
is
today
ending.
was about football.
But we need to
it
change.
will-
Now we have to start speaking more about photography, maybe.
Exact. Yes, that's true. That's true. But it's lovely to interact. I mean, it fills
Yeah.
up that part that we miss because the club, obviously, we do that when the club is open. So we try to fill in this socializing part virtually in the circumstances. As we always tell you, guys, have a good week, but be careful, stay safe. Okay, hopefully, we will get back to normal and we can look forward to being at the club in the least possible time. Thank you. See you next week and have a nice week. Bye bye.